At this point, you should have just finished the vision calibration on the computer side with using the camera and the calibration grid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to calibrate the robot to the user frame that we made the calibration on. And to do that, we start out with this wonderful teach pendant, and as per the manual, we have to first go to setup, or we have to make sure we are in user mode. And to cycle through this, if it's not in user mode, you hit the coordinate button and you just keep hitting it until it goes to user. After that, go to setup, and we want to make sure that we are in user frames, so we go and hit type, and we go to frames, and then we are already at frames, and now we do other and user frame, which is 3, and these are our user frames from 1 to 9. We chose user frame 6 in our previous video, so that's the one we are going to provide the calibration on. Let's go ahead and hit enter, and I need to make sure I'm in the right viewpoint here. We're going to go to method. Right now it's in the wrong method, but you want to make sure you go to method, and you want to make sure this is a 3-point calibration, because that's what we typically do with the deltas, is we perform the 3-point calibration. As you'll see, there are 3 points here. You can scroll through them, and these 3 points are outlined in the manual. The origin point is that one. The X direction point is that one right there, and it is currently at the Y direction point. So it's common practice to just start at the origin point, and what we do is you just make sure it's highlighted, and we go ahead and jog the robot to that point. Now that we're close, we want to really make sure we get fine-tuned into that position, because how accurate this is to the dot is going to determine how accurate your robot is in using its vision system. So for sake of simplicity, I'll just pretend that this is completely accurate, and I want to make sure I just go down here and lightly touch the calibration grid. We want to make sure our Z's are also consistent with the plane that we're using, and now that's in the position I want it to be in. I have the shift held down and the dead man switch held, and I just go ahead and hit F5 with that highlighted. So hit F5, it says new position calculated. And now we just rinse and repeat. We are now going to go to the X direction point and do the exact same thing, and then the Y direction point. So bear with me as we do that. Now we make sure we are at the X direction point, and then we shift record. Make sure we are at the Y direction point, shift and record. And now at this point we have completed the 3-point calibration. Now we need to go back to method, go to direct entry, which is 3, and we have 2 variables we want to set to 0. That would be W and P. And I'm just going to start at W, and you literally type 0 and hit enter. And then we want to go down to P, 0, enter, and those are the only 2 we want zeroed. And at this point, it is completely calibrated.